Hello and welcome to my video all about how to knit cables without using a cable needle. I personally only use this technique when I need to knit narrow cables, particularly multiple narrow cables, because to be honest it then seems too much of a faff to get the cable needle out just to pick up 1 or 2 stitches. So it's in that kind of scenario where I would recommend using this method. However, I wouldn't recommend it for more complicated cables or cables that are more than about 6 stitches wide. I'm going to show you how to do a left and a right leaning cable, starting with the left leaning cable. It's going to be a C4F cable, which means it's going to be worked over 4 stitches, so it's a relatively narrow cable. As you can see, I've cast on 10 stitches. The outer 3 stitches on each side will be used to knit reverse stockinette stitch, whilst the central 4 stitches will be used to create the stockinette cable. To create the cable twist, 2 stitches will go over or under the other 2 stitches, depending on which way you want the twist to go. I've already knit 2 preparation rows, and you can already see the start of the reverse stockinette on the outer edges and the start of the stockinette stitch in the centre. I'll just put the pattern for these 2 rows up on screen now in case you want to follow along. And now we're onto the cable row. I begin with 3 purl stitches to carry on the reverse stockinette stitch. Because this cable is 4 stitches wide, we're going to take 2 stitches over the other 2 stitches in order to form the cable twist. To do this, you take your right hand needle behind the left hand needle and use it to pick up the 3rd and 4th stitches down. It can be a bit stiff to get the needle into the stitches, particularly if you're using chunky needles. You then pull the left hand needle out of the top 4 stitches, which are the cable stitches. You need to do this quite carefully because obviously there are now 2 stitches hanging there that don't have a needle in them, so they could unravel. I'll refer to these stitches as live stitches. This leaves you with 3 stitches on the left hand needle, which are the reverse stockinette stitches. And then you push the needle back into those live stitches. Finally, you need to slip the 2 stitches that are still on the right hand needle back onto the left hand needle. So you do this purlwise. So you take the left hand needle through the front of each stitch, or you could slip them both together. Now, as you can see on the left hand needle, you've got the 4 cable stitches, 2 of which are crossed over the other 2. And you can already see how this is forming a left leaning cable. And then all you need to do is knit those 4 stitches. So make sure the working yarn is at the back, and then just do 4 knit stitches. Then the yarn comes forward and you do 3 purl stitches. If you're knitting along and also doing the C4F cable, then now it's time to do the 4th row of the 4 row repeat, which I'm going to put up on screen now. I'm now going to quickly run through just the cable row again, just to show you one more time. So I've already done the first 3 purl stitches, and then I take my right hand needle to the back of the left hand needle and pick up the 3rd and 4th stitches down, i.e. 1/2 of the cable stitches. Then I pull the left hand needle out of all 4 cable stitches, then back into the 2 live stitches. Then I slip the 2 cable stitches on the right hand needle, purlwise, back onto the left hand needle. Then I knit those 4 stitches and finish the row with 3 purl stitches. Okay, so now I'm going to move on and show you how to do the right leaning cable without a cable needle. And again, I'm going to do a 4 stitch cable, otherwise written as C4B. The only thing that differs with this pattern is how you hold the knitting needles when you twist the stitches. So I'll go straight to the cable row and I'll do the first 3 purl stitches. This time I take the right hand needle in front of the left hand needle before picking up the 3rd and 4th stitches. I then carefully pull the left hand needle out of the 4 cable stitches. Then I push the needle back through the 2 live stitches. And finally, I slip the 2 cable stitches still left on the right hand needle back onto the left hand needle, and I do this purlwise. And you can already see the cable starting to lean to the right. You then knit these 4 stitches. And then I just purl the final 3. Now I'm quickly going to go over that cable row again. So I've already done 3 purl stitches, and now I need to take my right hand needle in front of the left hand needle and pick up the 3rd and 4th stitches. Then I pull the left hand needle out of 4 stitches and go back into the 2 live stitches. I then slip the 2 stitches left on the right hand needle back onto the left hand needle. And then I knit those 4 stitches. And then I just purl the final 3. And that's it, that's how you make a right leaning cable. On this swatch you can see that I've done 2 repeats of the left leaning cable and then 2 repeats of the right leaning cable. It also shows why you don't normally mix the right leaning and left leaning cables, because the transition between the 2 obviously doesn't look very good. It's kind of an upright cable. But hopefully you can see at the top and the bottom the results you're aiming for. I really hope this tutorial has been helpful, and thank you very much for watching.